Hi everyone, it's Mark here, and today I'm answering your question, how to calm anxious children. Now, we have seen a huge increase in the amount of inquiries for children who have anxiety problems. We have an awful lot of parents who are reaching out for help. It's causing all sorts of issues and in a wide range of problems as well, from very mild ways to really severe ones. And the challenge is the NHS are just not giving us any help at all for children with these states. It's quite a problem. So I'm going to give you 5 tips today how to help to do this, to calm your children down and also to make life an awful lot better. So number 1 is we need to be calm and relaxed ourselves. We can't catch anxiety, but children do pattern it from their parents. I'm sure my anxiety as a child came from my mother, who was always anxious, and it didn't help that my dad was increasingly stressed with a very high-powered job in the NHS. So if we practice the right things, we can be calm and relaxed, and our children are much more likely to accept and take on the way that we operate. Now, the best way to do that is we have a free anxiety relief pack. You can find a magic link on this page and you can download that totally for free. Start practicing the routines. There's new things added to it every week. And if you practice those yourself, you're being a great example. If you practice those with your children, even better. It helps you to calm them down and help them to feel relaxed. The second step is to make sure that the home and the surroundings are anxiety and stress free. And we need to do this on a few levels. So first of all, we need to make sure that the people who come around and around our children are calm and relaxed. If you've got a relative who's always coming in and blustering around and everything, that's not helping the children. The second thing is to have your environment where it's nice and clean and tidy with no chaos. That's a great example for people in life. The third one is we need to make sure that the background noise and the media that people are taking on isn't dramatic and stressful. Now, it might be that your child's sitting there with a tablet, and that should be limited, by the way. If they're sitting there with a tablet or doing something at the table, if you're watching a soap opera and that's dramatic, stressful, anxious, guess what? They pick up on it. And we say this to adults all the time. You need to clean up your social media and your media because we know it causes problems, but we've seen some horrendous stories where children come in and when we have a chat with them on the side, it's either, well, mum's really anxious and stressed all the time, or she's pushing me to do this, or they're watching something horrible on the telly. You need to be aware of this. Children learn faster than adults do. We need to make sure that we're good and our surroundings are good as well. The third step, and this is a really difficult one, but there's ways to get around it, is school. School, from what I gather, I've got an 11-year-old daughter, is an absolute mental asylum. It's absolute chaos and the teachers aren't helping. So the one thing we can do is we can teach our kids some of these tools to stay calm when they go to school, how to feel more confident, but also we need to sort of educate them about what the world is like and why things are happening. Now, repeatedly up here in the Northeast, there's a certain group of schools where we're seeing the same problem, that the kids are not allowed to go through the gate without their daily planner. And if they forget it, it's sending their anxiety levels through the roof. The other one is attendance. I'm sick of hearing stories of where children are being sick. They're telling the teacher and the teacher says, well, you're here now. Just stay for the rest of the day. When the school rule is, if you're ill, you stay off, especially if you're being sick. By pushing on this attendance thing all the time, and I'm sure it's related to money, that's pushing anxiety up for kids all the time. Weirdly, some years ago, I came across a group of home educators. It blew my perceptions massively, and these were the best behaved, mature children I've ever seen who were years ahead in what they're doing. School's a difficult one, but if we can teach our kids to be a bit more resilient, as we can't homeschool all of our children, it works much, much nicely. Number 4, de-stress the children's diet. This is interesting. So much research now about the gut and the brain, but kids are brainwashed to eat more and more junk food. You know, quite often the cereals they're pushed to eat on the TV are not healthy foods. Yes, they come with the healthy whole grain label, but there's additives, there's E-numbers, there's sweeteners, there's all sorts of stuff there. So one of the things we need to do is first of all make sure our kids are eating plenty of fruits and vegetables. And if you're a good example yourself, your kids will be the same. If mum or dad's a picky eater, if they're massively overweight, if they're not exercising, all of these things spiral downwards with the kids. So get good foods in there, but remove the fat, the sugar, the salt, because we know that changes behavior. We need to make sure there's no E numbers in there. Make sure there's no artificial sweeteners. And yes, there's a lot of brainwashing. Things are changing, but de-stressing that diet is a huge, huge thing. Number 5, quality time. Sadly, I see this repeatedly. Now, kids need to get out and they need to experience the world. They not just through a tablet or a computer. They need to get out and get into nature a couple of times a week. They need to get into the forest, the woods. They need that exercise. They need to be on the bikes and the scooters. They need to go to the play park with their friends. They need to go into museums and learn things. And it's really interesting that I see so many kids who turn around and say, Mum just sits and watches the telly. That's no good. We've got to educate and guide our children. Don't just leave it for the school. But if we're sitting about doing nothing, they're going to do the same. You know, we know that if parents have got mental health issues, the kids are most likely to get the same. If the parents are obese, the kids are likely to be the same. This is called familial. I heard this years ago from an amazing guy called Dr. Joe Esposito that said if you put an adopted child into a new family, it's going to get the same genetic problems. It's not because they're genetic, it's because of the patterns that go down. So spend some time with your kids. Play some board games. Get them off the tablets and the computers. There's loads of beautiful things around us. And by practicing these 5 things, we see such a difference with children. They become brighter, they become happier, and families become happier. And that's how we calm down children with anxiety. I hope you found that useful. If you'd like that free anxiety relief pack, look for the magic link. My name is Mark. If you need any help, just drop us a message or leave a comment, and let's get your anxiety sorted.